I don't think so, Your Honor.
Okay.
Was that Peanut that got shot?
Timmy, go grab Ash from outside. Shush me, shush your mum.
All right. I'm going to let everyone filter in here. So, we have deliberated for quite a long time, poured over the evidence supplied by both sides. I will address first the articles of impeachment. So, the first article presented by the prosecution in this case was embezzlement. The prosecution specifically pointed to general corruption or criminal conviction. In terms of the embezzlement, based on the car, or pretty much anything else for that matter, we do not find that there has been a provable instance of embezzlement. There was a host of discussion regarding at trial and in our deliberations regarding the cost of G&E, the taxes, the variety of exhibits entered into evidence by both sides, and we are unwilling, or I should say unable, to find, beyond a reasonable doubt that there was proof of embezzlement in this case. There is nothing before us that would allow us to criminally convict the mayor of embezzlement. Additionally, did we lose Bundy?
Yes, sir. We did. I didn't want to interrupt you.
It's okay.
I would just say carry on.
All right, we'll go ahead. It is what it is. So there is nothing before us that would allow us to convict Mayor Abdul Rahim of the charge of embezzlement. And I mean that in any of the three counts. We did have lengthy discussions surrounding the nature of the language in that charge about being a business or not. To Mr. Braun's point, I myself have a very strong basis and belief in sort of the textual nature of things, but that is not controlling our decision. What controlled our decision was the fact that there was just not enough evidence provided beyond a reasonable doubt that convinces us that he is guilty of embezzlement. So in terms of the first article of impeachment, embezzlement, we are not granting the impeachment of the mayor on that count. Additionally, we are finding him not guilty on the 3 criminal counts of embezzlement alleged. I'm going to move forward and deal with the third article first here. The third article here is the dereliction of duties. The allegations, both in these, well, we'll pause here. I need to clear my throat for no particular reason. All right, moving forward, as previously stated for everyone's benefit, we are not comfortable convicting the mayor on any of the 3 counts of embezzlement, the criminal charges. We do not believe it has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt that he fulfills the charge. Now, in terms of the article of impeachment for embezzlement, again, that is dismissed. We do not find there has been enough to grant that has been brought by the prosecution. So all 3 criminal charges are found not guilty. The first article of impeachment, embezzlement, is dismissed. Moving forward to the dereliction of duties, Article 3, we are unable to find that this was satisfied at trial based on the testimony and evidence provided. After careful deliberation, it is our ruling that the dereliction of duties, and I will bring this up for y'all for everyone's benefit in case people are not familiar. Dereliction of duties reads as follows: failure to perform duties from lack of activity in the office or outright refusing to perform duties of what is expected. In terms of the first part of that prong, the failure to perform duties from lack of activity, I don't think that's true. There was nothing raised by the prosecution that he was inactive. The only thing raised was that he refused to provide the status or balance of the bank account. There were some vague assertions and allegations raised regarding his refusal to perform the duties in terms of dispersing the budgetary amounts to different departments. He countered with, saying basically Toretti didn't file the paperwork and it was his fault for LSPD. He also countered his side with the idea that he was executing the duties of what is expected to him, given that we don't have a very explicit definition of those duties outside of the general guidelines, and some other documentation that Mayor Jones referred to. We are in a position where we must consider: is there a way that we can say here, in a convincing fashion to ourselves, that he is satisfactory to the dereliction of duties allegation? The answer is no. We did not find a way that we could justify the statement that he outright refused to perform the duties of what is expected. The idea that somehow it is alleged that a duty was for him to provide the balance of the state account at any given time, and if he didn't do so, it was a dereliction of duty warranting impeachment, is extremely tenuous and is not something that we would consider something worthy of impeachment and removal from office. So as to Article 3, dereliction of duties, we are not granting that. That is dismissed. Finally, we have Article 2. Article 2 deals with 2 counts: general corruption and gross incompetence. The prosecution's allegation is that the purchase of things such as the mayoral scanner, the mayoral housing, rose to such a level that it was dishonest or fraudulent, that the person was found to be using their position in the order to secure illegal benefits for themselves or like persons. We are not convinced that there is evidence of general corruption. We do not believe that it has been proven or satisfied that the mayor was continuously dishonest or fraudulent. I think it is very clear to everyone who listened to the testimony here today that there was not a strong case made that Mayor Abdul was a malicious mayor or a criminal mayor. It just was not proven. So then the question is there gross incompetence? I'm going to go ahead and immediately talk about the second prong, which is actions or thoughts that lead to serious consequences or injury. The only serious consequence or injury that could be alleged as a result of the mayor's actions as described in this trial would be, let's say, the state account going upside down, or departments not getting the money they needed because he spent it elsewhere, or let's say the entire society being destabilized because of his actions with his spending. And I don't think any of those kinds of ideas were proven. I don't think there's been proof here of a serious consequence or injury based on his actions. So that I'm going to strike that, we have stricken that. Finally, we come to gross incompetence, the continuous behavior that leads to misconduct. We struggled with this mightily. The idea of what is continuous behavior, what should that mean, what is misconduct? And here's how we fell out. In terms of continuous behavior, we hold, based on our deliberations review of all the evidence submitted, that the prosecution had a great number of transactions they could have touched on, they could have examined the mayor regarding. We have a great number of questions about these transactions that are left unanswered. I will publicly here today admonish the prosecution for not bringing up or attempting to examine the payment for severance to the former Parks and Recreation director, or the multi-hundreds of thousands of dollars dispersed to LSBN for state announcements, or bonuses for the deputy mayors and the mayor himself. All of these things, I think, would have helped for us to have heard testimony regarding. It would have, helped us to form opinions about the behavior being continuous, whether it was misconduct. But I will state that we are left with a continuous set of behaviors that I can only define as what we discussed being a sense of aloofness from the mayor, his positive attitude in which everyone appreciates him and respects him as a person. The thing that makes him such a key part of the social fabric in some senses also may have led him to not be the right person for the job. What I mean for that is that we're not here to say whether or not his decisions, discretionary as they are wrong or not. So I'm not here to say that, the upgrades for the car are improper. We're not impeaching Abdul based on, whether or not he bought too expensive of a car or he charged too much for the G&E, because none of that was really proven. The question before us here is, did his continuous behavior, and the behavior being defined as the management of the state funds, the actions as the mayor, eventually, over time, so all of these disbursements and all of these actions, did they eventually lead to misconduct? Ultimately, we look at the hotel expenditure, the way the transaction occurred, the lack of due diligence between him and Loxley in terms of getting, fair market quotes, the idea of, is it a perishable asset or not? Should all of these things wade into his decision making? Again, these are all sort of questions that are in the ephemeral sort of, fringes of everything. And when we're not, confident in stating that because of one action or not, these things necessarily were embezzlement in a criminal sense. But do we believe that Mayor Abdul Al-Rahim was so grossly incompetent due to his continuous actions managing the state funds and disbursements that eventually it led to misconduct? Well, we rested solely at this point. Not rested solely. We came to the ultimate resting point of the question and admission made by the mayor regarding his idea of the different accommodations made to him within this hotel package. The Wi-Fi, the hotel car service, the concierge, the VIP gambling table access. The claims of security and all these things are so unreliable, especially given the juxtaposition with the idea that he was willfully placing himself in harm's way by going out to be with the metal detectors, who he claims were in such peril from robbers that he needed to have the state funds buy him a metal detector so he could find out for himself, to the fact that he reported it to police. That did lead to misconduct. He did end up spending money from the state funds on things such as the VIP gambling table access that are really so outside the bounds of the idea of mayoral housing as to be unconscionable. So do we believe that Mayor Abdul Al-Rahim, is a great person? Do we believe that he's a friendly guy? Do we like him personally? Yes. Do we believe that he is so grossly incompetent with his management of the state funds and so aloof in his lack thereof of due diligence that it ended up leading to misconduct in an official capacity? Yes. So on the Article 2 of impeachment, we do find that impeachment article is granted. I will now transition to Judge Thomas here, who will describe the outcome of that finding.
So Crane and Thomas both voted yes.
Due to this ruling,
and I didn't
Abdul, you are going to be immediately removed from office. You will
no
not be able to run for any new or existing mayoral re-election that will arise. And you will be, your job is posted immediately. As simple as that. Abdul, I hope you take this and learn from this.
I do, Your Honor. Thank you very much for your verdict.
Let's. What are we going to vacate the mayor position and get an election ASAP?
Yep. Yeah, we have to.
All right.
We got impeached.
Yeah,
Y'all
we
could
have.
announce that if you want, senators.
Yeah, bang the gavel. Done.
Your Honors, may I ask a question?
All right. So, as a result of the verdict, Mr. Rahim or Al-Rahim, you've been informed that you are no longer the holder of the office of mayor. You are also no longer permitted to hold any future official office, be it mayor, deputy mayor, etc., judge, while you remain in this state. The senators will now address the general population as to how things will move forward for the office.
Mm-hmm.
This should stay vacant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just vacant for
Yeah.
All right. Anybody who's looking to become the mayor, it'll be the same process as normal. You can apply on the government site. I'm going to be posting that momentarily. You give me about 15 minutes. And anybody's welcome to apply except the impeached mayor. Everybody else, feel free to apply.
Anyone else is free to apply, you said?
Not violent felons, though.
Yeah,
no violent felons.
You still have to follow the ruling that we had before in the actual articles.
No violent felons. No tax-related convictions allowed.
All right. Thank you all for
Also-
coming. We will be here to answer questions. Go ahead, Senator.
Where's Mayor Abdul? I want his
He
vehicle.
walked out.
He
went that
just
way.
ran away.
Okay, I want to
Just
go
ran
get his
away.
vehicle.
Let's get it,
I have some questions, by the way.
I know you will, Sherry.
Yeah, he's zooming.
Long live Queen Ursula.
Valid
Woo.
job.
He is zooming.
Mr. I'll call Mr. David.
Wait, did he? He just.
God, he's free. He was finding a
He's
reason.
making
What
a
the
mockery
fuck?
of it. He just got removed from an official position and he's laughing at it.
We do have a quick question. Should assuming that this is important, like, because assuming that the election will take the normal proper amount of time, should we just continue on with our duties as deputy mayors?
I mean, you guys have been running the office as recent, haven't you?
We're just gonna vacate all positions for now.
There you go.
Oh,
Here's your answer.
okay.
Long-
Okay.
Long live Queen Ursula.
Can we wrap up our business proposals real fast then? 'Cause we
Yeah,
got people
just
that are waiting.
whatever you need to do, but don't take on any new duties.
Wait,
Okay.
so we don't
All
get-
right.
So whatever you've
We can
got
do that.
under your belt right now, get it done. There's no immediate rush, but don't take on any new responsibilities, requests, or anything like that.
Okay, and there's no interim mayor in the meantime? Like, who does
No.
the city look to leadership? You guys in the meantime? Just in
Um,
case someone asks. Because I know the election will take at least a couple weeks.
there'll be more info with the announcement.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And then we also
Appreciate
need to
it.
handle the
Thanks for your
business
time.
of retrieving the Stafford out of your custody, Mr. Al-Rahim.
Yeah, that would be no problem, Your Honor. You know,
Alright,
if you want me to give it to you and you give it to the next mayor, no problem. If you want me to hold on to it until the next mayor comes in office, no problem as well.
Senator, how would you like to proceed with that?
Honestly, I don't care. Whatever.
Okay.